Hi, thanks very much for joining me for Marketing Monday. Today is August 22nd, and I am back in my regular studio space, aka my dining room. And it is Monday afternoon for me. I don't know what time it is for you, but got my coffee here. We'll have a little coffee, we'll have a little conversation about marketing and practice development for mediators and arbitrators. Um, Today is going to be a slightly different format. I know you're surprised. I want to talk today a little bit about, well, the fact that I have lived in France for years. Years. I've lived here for years. My French is fine. I get around just fine. But in all of the years that I've lived here, I have never, not one time, not once, never had a good haircut. And I was talking to a client of mine in London, Mia. Mia, thank you so much for this conversation. And she is fluent in French. And she said something about my hair, my color, my cut, something. And I made a remark about her hair. She has beautiful, naturally curly hair. So we were talking about this thing about hair. Now my hair is not curly. My hair is wavy. I've got these big, beautiful, fat waves, which kind of leaves me in the middle. I either have to straighten the waves or I have to curl my hair. I otherwise look like I've spent all day at the beach, which sometimes is fine, but sometimes not exactly what I want. So we were talking about this, Mia and I, and good morning. And and I said that I had never ever had a good haircut in France. And she said, "Well, why?" And I said, I don't know why. I don't understand. I, I call the salon and I talk to the stylist and I always ask the same question. Do you know how to cut curly or wavy hair? Because it's different. Anyone who has curly or wavy hair will tell you it's different. So I always ask the question, do you know how to cut curly or wavy hair? And they always answer the same. Of course I know how to cut curly and wavy hair. I went to school for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever their situation was, to become a professional barber, a professional stylist. Of course I know how to cut curly hair. So then I make the appointment and I go in and I get my hair cut and I always walk out disappointed. They always use the razor and I ask them not to. They always cut my waves right in half so that when I leave, I look like I've got feathers for hair. It's always wrong. And it's really frustrating. And Mia said to me, "Oh, well, you're asking the wrong question." And I said, I am. What do you mean I'm asking the wrong question? And Mia very politely said, well, they're all trained. All barbers are trained. They all go to barber school, beauty school, etc. So they all have the education to cut curly or wavy hair. The question you should be asking is, are you experienced? How much experience do you have? What's your firsthand experience in cutting wavy or curly hair? The education remains the same. That's a standard across France. The experience will change from shop to shop, person to person, village to village, city to city, right? And I hadn't thought of it that way before. So thank you, Mia. I look forward to my next haircut. I'll be able to ask a better question next time. And that got me thinking about how it is that we as mediators and arbitrators interact with our clients. It is entirely possible that your clients aren't asking the right question to elicit from you the answer that they're really looking for. They might not know any better, you might not know any better, but I'm going to guess that you're in a much better position to presuppose or to assume what kinds of questions they need to have answered about your process, your practice, your experience, the people that you work with, the ways in which you work with people. I'm going to assume that you know how to better answer those questions than they might know how to ask, if that makes any sense. And so I thought that this would be a good Monday for us to talk about your FAQs, your frequently asked questions, and whether you have a formal list on your web page of frequently asked questions, either in written out Q&A format, or maybe you've put them into a video format. So someone has posted a question to you at some time during the past of your, within your practice experience, and then you've logged on and created a video like this to answer that frequently asked question. But most of us have those frequently asked questions, whether we formalize them or not. And in your marketing, in your practice development, on your web pages, your brochure, your video channel, your podcast, whatever format, whatever medium you're using to address those kinds of inquiries, queries, questions, concerns, worries, whatever they might be, the way in which you answer that question, or that you presuppose what question will be answered, I think is really important. When consumers are looking to us to provide a service, they want to know that they can trust us, that we have the right experience that can lead them from chaos to calm, or we can take them from conflict to conclusion, all of those kinds of things. They want to know that we get them. So the way in which we answer those questions in advance really helps them get from that period or that position of, I think I want Natalie to be my mediator, to, oh, there's Natalie, she's my mediator. And so think about what questions are most often asked, what questions are never asked but possibly should be asked of you, and then how are you going to answer those questions, making sure that it's answered in such a way that if a really unsophisticated consumer would understand it, but also a really sophisticated consumer would appreciate the response, so that it runs sort of that gambit. And play with the language and the presentation so that you really get it to be a full-bodied, well-described, lots of adjectives, lots of adverbs, really paint the picture, so that you're not just giving sort of the regularly regurgitated answers of mediation. It's your process, not mine. I'm a neutral third party. We've all heard it. We've all read it. Really describe the process. Talk about how you convene the case. Maybe you have pre-mediation conferences. Maybe you have different kinds of phone calls. How do people get sat around the room? How do you work things through? Do you use bracketing? And if so, what is bracketing? Do you like baseball mediation? If so, what is baseball mediation? Do you do med-arb? Describe it. Show people what it looks like. Answer those questions in advance to the best of your ability. And I think that your consumers will feel much more in touch with you, in tune with you, and therefore more likely to engage you and hire you. So think about your friend Natalie sitting in Normandy, France, with really bad haircut after haircut after haircut because she wasn't smart enough to ask the right question in the right way. And see if you can't do better for yourself. Of course, I know you can. If you have any problems, any questions, please let me know. Also, I have a favor to ask. For these Marketing Monday videos, the only way that I know that I'm giving you content that you like or appreciate is if you interact with me. If you give me a thumbs up or a like, or you put a comment in the comments section, or you let me know that you'd like me to address a different topic, or post these videos at a different time or in a different way. So if you can, please do me a kindness, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, a heart, so that I can look at the algorithmic responses that you provide me and know that I've hit the mark here. Not like you don't like this one, you prefer more, you prefer less, or shorter, or longer. Or Paul, thank you so much for the compliment of my hair. It's not what I was fishing for, but I really appreciate it. So if you could interact and engage with me, I can do much better for the purposes of providing you appropriate content in a way that you really want to have it. Otherwise, I'm, just winking at girls in the dark and nobody knows that I'm doing it except me, as the old quote goes. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me for Marketing Monday. I hope that your coffee is as good as mine. I wish you all the best. Be good humans. Bye-bye. Thanks, Alyssa. See you soon, I hope.